Pretty thighs, shawty, she a dime. Demon girl, evil eyes, she be telling lies.
Speaking of New England Biolabs, you're the chief scientific officer of that company, and your company has recently developed the loop-mediated isothermal amplification, the LAMP assay, for research use during COVID-19. So do you think that the LAMP method is more accurate than the PCR test?
Well, I wouldn't say it was more accurate, but in my view, it's actually more useful. We originally developed this method in order to study parasitic diseases in Africa. And so we have quite a group of people here who've worked in parasitology for many years now. And so one of the ways in which you can identify sort of parasitic viruses or creatures, whatever, anything that's being a parasite, one of the ways that you can identify them is by looking for characteristic DNA sequences. And so LAMP amplification became the way in which we could do that. And the reason we chose that as opposed to, say, PCR is because loop-mediated amplification can be practiced without all the fancy equipment you need to do PCR. So you don't need to be constantly cycling things.
Yep.
Isothermal amplification. And you can do it actually out in the field in Africa very easily. You can go out, collect samples, check them immediately without carrying a big PCR machine around with you to do it. So we like it for that reason. It's also very rapid. It gives you a very rapid result. It's not quite as sensitive as PCR, but it's sensitive enough to detect, say, COVID. And we used it extensively. We first used it in collaboration with a lab in China when the epidemic first got started. And we published on it. We tried to get people here to use it as opposed to PCR, just because it's easier to do. It doesn't cost as much. You don't need the fancy equipment. But unfortunately, the advocates for PCR, the PCR lobbyists, decided PCR had to be the gold standard, and LAMP kind of went by the board. And I think it's a shame because LAMP can be used very effectively. You can make home tests that work really nicely, and you don't need to go to all of the trouble of using PCR, which is also more expensive.